I'm going to go into, there we go. There we go. I'm going to go into my share screen and share with you what I've got cooked up. So what do I have cooked up for this Shabbat? Last week and the week before, we talked about Koheleth, the wisdom of wisdom, wisdom as the feminine wisdom as the foundation of the universe. If you live your life with wisdom, everything is great and perfect. And of course, I said there is no Jewish discussion of wisdom without its opposite. So I called it the unwisdom of Koheleth. Koheleth in English, Ecclesiastes. And it is interesting, why did the rabbis put this in when they had an equally beautiful book of antiquity called, what is named as Ecclesiasticus, which is Ben Sira, very associated with Jeremiah's disciples, at least that's the traditional attribution. Very beautiful book of wisdom and the guide to life, and they didn't put that in, but they put Ecclesiastes in. And when you look at it, you'll see why we need to have this debate. So I'm going to go into that. And the next sessions after this, I'm going to do what I call Judaism 101, because, and I'm opening it up to the wide public, and I've sent out notices, because as much as we learned, whether we learned in Cheder or Yeshiva or in Sunday school, Hebrew school, or nothing, well, we're not clear about what we are, right? So we need to be clear about what we are, what is our key core concepts, our key values, how do we carry it out. So try to, as an instant summary, why stand on one foot. In fact, I think my symbol for this is a guy standing on one foot. I finally found a nice image with no copyright, so I'm using that as my logo for this, the branding. So that'll be the following week. So now, make yourself comfortable, because I'm going to talk now. Yeah. Okay, that's it. So wisdom is very ancient, and it's also skepticism of wisdom is very ancient. We already have 4,000 years ago in Sumer, which is where the Persian Gulf is. It's underwater now, that area, but it's in that section. The ancient town of Sumer, where we have a book where a father is complaining about raising his kid and can never get the kid to go straight. And he says, I've spoiled you, I've given whatever you want, and you are an ingrate. Right? So nothing new under the sun. And then as far as skepticism, I mean, we have this, it was known as the Babylonian Koheleth, that's his nickname, from around the year 1000, right? Koheleth is associated with King Solomon, Proverbs associated with King Solomon. It's around that time, but give or take a century or two either way. It's an 8% error. Okay, one time. But it's a dialogue between master and slave, and the slave is the real character here, because he's egging on the master. Let me get this on here a little bit. Here, get myself out of the way. Up here, and up here. Okay, so he's egging on the master, and whatever the master says, the slave gives right back to him. But you see how it ends. Hold on, let me see if I can get this here so I can get a nice print size for you. There we go. So it's called a dialogue on pessimism. That's the name that's given to it. So it talks about, the master says, I want to drive to the palace. Slave, listen to me. Here I am, master, here I am. Quickly, fetch me the chariot and hitch it up. I want to drive to the palace. Drive, master, drive. It'll be to your advantage. When he sees you, he'll give you honors. And then he says, oh, well, slave, I will not drive to the palace. Oh, do not drive, master, do not drive. When he sees you, the king may send you God knows where. He may take you on a route you do not know. He'll make you suffer agony day and night. He goes on with the banquet. Quickly, fetch me water from my hands. I want to dine. Dine, master, dine. A good meal relaxes the mind. I want the meal of the gods to wash one's hands, passes the time. Oh, well, slave, I will not dine. Right? Everything the opposite. Do not dine, master, do not dine to eat only when one is hungry, to drink only one is thirsty, is best friend. So whatever the master says, the slave echoes and increases, right? And it goes on and on and on and on. Revolution, lovemaking, till business, philanthropy, everything encourages the master, and then he discourages the master. Conclusion of all this. Slave, listen to me. Here I am, master. What then is good? To have my neck broken and yours, or be thrown into the river, is that good? Slave answers back, who is so tall as to ascend to heaven? Who is so broad as to encompass the world? Oh, well then, slave, I will kill you and send you first. Do you a favor. Right? That's the suicide homicide. A slave answers, yes, but my master would certainly not survive me for 3 days. The oldest comeback line in history. Right? Must be a Jewish joke routine. Right? Hey, you can't do without me. You're not going to kill me. So, but you see this. You see this in antiquity. We don't expect it, though, in Jewish sources, do we? So we come to Koheleth. So I'm going to try to get this enlarged so that you can read it. So who is this Koheleth? He introduces himself. Well, the word Koheleth, you know, it translates preacher. Kahal is a community. Koheleth, the one who is leading or preaching to the community. That's the usual explanation. And hence the English Ecclesiastes, ecclesia, the community, from which you get the Catholic word ecclesia, church, the community. So it opens up Divrei Koheleth ben David, Melech Yerushalayim. Now, who could be the preacher who is the son of David, king in Jerusalem? Who could it be? Solomon. That's the traditional attribution. The question is it really, or is it that as the scribes are copying it, they say, well, Melech Yerushalayim could only be Solomon because he's the wise man. And so they add the word Ben David. That's a later attribution. One of the problems we have in the text of Koheleth is that it is a debate, opposites. Koheleth takes a position, and suddenly we see the opposite position. So there are two theories. Is it that Koheleth has written his own debate, the author, whoever it may be, position, and then counters his own position? Or is it Koheleth is really a uniform text originally, and then the scribes didn't like it and corrected it with what they thought? Because you see this back and forth, back and forth. But the opening and the last lines make it very clear he's intended to be the skeptic, because he repeats this over and over again. Or I assume it's a he, because he has nothing nice to say about women. We'll see. Okay. Hevel havalim amar Koheleth. Hevel havalim. The word hevel is breath. When you remember Cain and Abel, Abel's name in Hebrew is Hevel. And he disappears because there's nothing there. He will disappear. Hevel havalim. That's the answer. It's the breath of the breath. It's in the morning you go out and you see, in a cold morning, you see the mist that comes out of your mouth. The mist that comes out of the mist. Hevel havalim. Ma yitron la'adam b'chol amalo she'emal tachat hashemesh. What's the benefit to a human being for all the work that he does under the sun? Of course, the rabbis have the answer. What a human being does under the sun in this world, you don't see it. Next world. That's the classic rabbinic response. The next world. He doesn't buy it. We'll see why. Dor lech dor ba, v'olam l'olam omedet. So somebody answers back. But though generations come and go, the world stands. That's not so bad. The world stands, right? So somebody's coming in with a response. That's what we think that is. So it goes on. You see this thing, all things are wearisome. Man cannot tell it. The eye is not satisfied seeing it, nor the ear filled with hearing it. That which has been, what has been is going to be. Right? Can you really see of anything that it's new? Even that Twitter, even the internet. It was before. They just had a different method. All right? No remembrance of earlier things. The reason you don't know about it is you don't remember it. Why don't you remember it? Because nobody reported it. And also of later things that will occur, there'll be no remembrance for them among those who will come later still. Notice this is a very un-Jewish perspective, isn't it? What is it? What's a classic Jewish prayer? Zichro lenetzach, right? Zichro livracha, the memory is for a blessing. You will have a remembrance. You will be remembered. The enemy, we say, Yamach Shemo. The enemy will be forgotten. This is not a classic Jewish thinker. We think that Radhan Shlomo HaMelech, this is after the first interaction of Jews with both Persians and Greeks, after the return, before the Hasmonean fights, but sometime in that interaction. Because that is Greek thinking. That is Greek thinking. Right? Kol dvarim yegeim. Right, okay. Okay, so now this is the other thing, why we think this is Solomon. Ani Koheleth hayiti melech al Yisrael b'Yerushalayim. Okay, you see the connection. Somebody's put in Ben David to give it a justification. Hayiti melech al Yisrael b'Yerushalayim. I was king over Israel in Jerusalem. I can only be David, right? We assume. One of the corrections is that the word melech does not always mean king. Melech in modern Hebrew is just the tough guy. Bibi melech, Bibi melech, right? The shout. It's not like it's king, but it's the top guy. So melech indicates someone of extreme economic power. We know something also very interesting. This period in the Greek and Roman world is the period of the beginnings of the seeds of modern capitalism. The aggregation of wealth and power outside the hereditary kingship or installed government positions. So that we have these powerful entities that are now rising who have wealth accrued from marketing, finance, merchandising, no longer just agriculture. And hence the word melech, meaning somebody who's exceptionally wealthy. That's the theory. That would make sense. He's the most powerful man among all the Israelites sitting in Jerusalem, capital, or the core city. Natati libri, right? So I did what? I gave my mind lidrosh latur, to examine and to tour. The word tourism, to spy on, to investigate. B'chokhmah, right? In wisdom, all that has happened, I set my mind to know wisdom. And now, if I know wisdom, I've got to know its opposite, folly. Right? Tachat hashemesh, von nasa tachat hashemesh, inyan ra naten Elohim livnei adam la'anot bo. I didn't see it in the English. The English, I chopped it off there, sorry. It's a bad deal. God put this wisdom here to torture us, la'anot bo. It's called ma'asim shasu tachat hashemesh ekol cheva re'ut ruach. That's the other word that uses all the time. Re'ut ruach, which matches the idea of hevel as breath, chasing after the wind. Re'ut ruach. Okay, so now a little bit more about himself. And this is how we know it's not really, can't be King Solomon, because it says, behold, I magnified and built up wisdom above all who were in Jerusalem before me. Well, if it's in King Solomon, who was in Jerusalem before him? Only King David. Well, that's not all. And then he says that, we understand that he's much later. Right? And I amassed, right? I set mine to know wisdom and know madness and folly. That's also striving, because in much wisdom there is grief. And increasing knowledge results in increasing pain. I believe that there is some kind of correlation between high education and depression. It is like you know too much to be happy. I think there's some correlation in it. Oh, we'll find out why. Okay? You know, if you don't know, you go through life as a fool. You don't know what's going to happen. Jews, I think Jews I don't know if Jews have a high rate of depression, but there's a kind of attitude. Lowered expectations, so you're happy with what you get. Huh? I don't know. Ignorance is not bliss. I don't know. Look what he says. Okay, So I said to myself, now I'll test you with pleasure. Let's try pleasure. Enjoy yourself. And also folly. Instead of laughter, let's chokamate miholal. Laughter also is miholal. It's wasted. Simcha, happiness, what good does it do? This is Woody Allen 10 times over. So I explained in my mind how to stimulate my body with wine. Why my mind was guided. Notice what he's trying to do. He's trying to get drunk while staying aware of what's happening. Because he wants to observe. So he's going to ruin himself intentionally while trying to pay attention to what's happening. I want to find out what is good. This is not a classical Jewish thinker. Can't find a Jewish thinker who says I'm going to make myself, not rabbinic, certainly, not biblical, not Moses, prophets. So I enlarged my works. I built houses for myself, planted vineyards for myself, made gardens and parks for myself, planted them all kinds of fruit trees. This is the period of the garnering of capital in that period. I made ponds of water for myself, which to irrigate a forest of growing trees. I bought male and female slaves. I had homeborn slaves. Possessed flocks and herds larger than all who preceded me in Jerusalem. Collected silver and gold and treasure of kings and provinces. Made for myself male and female singers of the pleasures of men, many concubines. That translation, I'm not sure it is the word shida veshidot, which may be, he's playing both ways. Even that, it's very hard to determine. That might be. And then I got wealth more than all preceded. Where I said preceded me in Jerusalem, well, it couldn't be anybody else. My wisdom stood by me. I'm watching all this. And all that my eye desired, I did not refuse. I did not withhold my heart from any pleasure. My heart was pleased because of all my labor. Oh, good, I'm feeling good. Consider all my activities I hadn't done in the labor. Behold, vanity and striving after win no profit under the sun. Most successful man on earth. I am Bill Gates. I am Jeff Bezos. I am, whoever you want to pick. I got it all. Well, what's the story? Huh? You remember there's the famous movie, Citizen Kane, and he's on his death thing. He says the story in the deathbed line. Rosebud. When he was a child, the simplicity. He got it all. Okay. Yeah, one of the things, what are some of the great artists do? Try to see the world again as a child, through a child's eye. Okay, well, let's go back to wisdom. This building up of wealth and having it all, okay. So I try to consider madness and folly. What will the man do who comes after the king except what has already been done? Wisdom excels folly as light excels darkness, right? This is the counter line. Somebody didn't like this, so he's putting in. Wisdom excels folly as the light excels darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, the fool walks in darkness. What is the Hebrew word there? That is, see, a stupid guy walks in dark. But then, still the same one fate. And then I said, as the fate of the fool, it will also befall me. Why should I have become so wise? I know everything. I know now what it's like to be a fool. I know what it's like to be a wise man. Now I know too much. I'm going to be the same no matter what I did. This too vanity. No lasting remembrance of the wise man as with the fool. In the coming days all be forgotten. How the wise man and fool will die alike. So I hated life, for the work has been done under the sun grievous to me. Can you imagine? This is not, I hate it because I have to leave it for somebody else. Can you imagine somebody Jewish saying that? I hated life. It's not a Jewish position. You know, and I hated everything I did. Because I'm having to leave it for okay, we have this famous a time for, which is maybe a refrain, a little bit of wisdom here. Somebody else putting it, but this is a famous theme that we have. Everything has its time. Koheleth, you don't understand. He's answering Koheleth. Koheleth, you don't understand. Somebody's putting this in. Everything has its place in time. And then we have the time to birth and time to die, time, there is a season, turn to every purpose under heaven, time to heal, right? That's very beautiful. And then we come right back. What profit is there to the worker for what he toils? I've seen the task which God has given men to occupy themselves, right? So Koheleth doesn't buy it. Somebody puts it in, Koheleth doesn't buy it. What has God done for the human being? Interesting how we can translate this. As I call it, say, Efe be'ito. Gam olam natan b'libam. He's made everything appropriate in his time, following up on the theme time. He's also set eternity in the heart, yet some man will not find out the work which God has done from beginning to end. If we do, he's given eternity in the human heart, that doesn't connect with man will not determine. So there's some scholars who say the vocalization is in the wrong place because it's ayin lamed mem. It's not the vav in the middle, olam. So it is ha'elem. What is ha'elem? Missing, unknown. God has put the unknown inside the hearts of men because in an earlier sentence he says that too, right? This chasing, this desire to chase. Now it makes sense. God has put into the hearts of the human being this desire to find out and drive, to know what's happening, not find it no matter what. Cannot find what God has done from beginning to end. All right, so that's really Ein Tov. Well, Kim l'smoch l'so tov b'chayav. No, somebody said, Yadati. Nah, there's nothing better than to be happy and do good in your life. Kol adam she'ochav. Every human being should eat and see good with the work that there's a gift of God. Somebody didn't like to see it. That's response. Is it Koheleth answering himself, challenging himself? Someone else puts it in. We're not sure. Okay, so now, so maybe yeah. So, a lot of it is hard to tell because people, we have what has been the work of editors, editing constantly, coming up with the final text. It's the problem we have with all the Bible texts. And, No. By the time of Rashi, we have a complete text. The text, to a great extent, the Bible as we have it is complete, to a great extent, most of it complete by the time of the Greek Hellenized Egyptians' control of the land of Israel with Ptolemy, one of the Ptolemies of Egypt, who establishes the writing of the Septuagint, official Greek translation. And from that we know that there's a core text, which is mostly what we have, as it is. That's around 300 before the year zero, 250 before the year zero, somewhere in that time frame. I mean, Alexander the Great's 325 something. Right? Don't hold me on the exact years. I wasn't there. But, okay. So, look. Well, because we can debate the dates, even if I have the original sources. Okay. So anyway, look. Yeah, but he says, why do I need that power? It's disgusting. It's going in a circle. Look what he says. Why do I want all this? Look what why do I want all this? I look on where there should be justice, there's evil. Instead of the righteous, there's the wicked. All right. No, so God will judge the wicked and the right. That's what he starts out to say. But is that true? I looked at what people say about God creating them. They're like cattle, all of them. Wait a minute. The fate of the sons of men and the fate of the beasts is the same. As one dies, so dies the other. They have the same breath, and there's no advantage of man over beast. Wait a minute, what's this thing about man having been created on the sixth day as the pinnacle of creation, that man has knowledge and wisdom which the beasts don't have? Where is that? Man has eaten of the tree of knowledge. It doesn't matter. He says it doesn't. They have the same breath. All go to the same place. They came from dust and return to the dust. He says you forget about it. He says you forget about it. That's what he's saying. That's right. Oh, so look what he says next. Wait, what does he say after that? Hakol olechem mekom echad. All goes to the same place. Min afar kol shav el afar. Mi yodea ruach bnei adam ha'olarhi lemala ruach beima yoredet hi lemata la'aretz. Who knows that the breath of man goes upward, the soul of man goes up, and the soul of the beast goes down? Can you tell me? Maybe the beast goes up and the human beings go down? Who knows? All right, where's this faith? Even though the rest of the Bible doesn't talk so much about Olam Haba, certainly the idea is coming to the Jewish people. He's in the period where Jewish people are now talking also in contact with Persians and with Greek thinkers about life and afterlife. And beginning the concept, the question of afterlife, it appears now in all Jewish sources, and he's debating it. He's denying it. You can't tell me the beast of the human goes up. I mean, look at that. Larry David couldn't do this better. All right? Larry David. So he says, okay, be happy with what you got, because that's all. Right? So, wealth. And then it'll go on. The poor man is better off than the rich man. Sleep of the working man is pleasant, whether he eats little or much, but the full stomach of the rich man does not allow him to sleep. Metuka shenat ha'oved ima'atim arbei. It's not worth it. Oh. And he looks at the guy who's serving him dinner. Well, he says, ha'oved. The guy's working. He got his 9-to-5 job. He's got his $15 an hour. He eats a little bit more, eats a little bit less. He's not worried. He knows I'm going to pay him. He's bringing me my dinner. He knows I'm going to pay him. He doesn't have to worry, am I going to lose all my money because I invested in the wrong stock? Maybe I stole it. Maybe I inherited and didn't do anything for it. Maybe I inherited it. I didn't do it. Metukat shenata ovedim ma'atim harbe. The guy, the simple person. Oh, I wish I just had, my 9-to-5 job, get my paycheck, we'll go home. Right. What do you have? Like Hillel said, why do you want to acquire so much wealth? You acquire worries. My stock is going down. What's happening? My stock is going down. Where's my coupons? I'm clipping coupons. My zero coupon, whatever it is. Should I be good or not? All right, I've seen. Why did they put this in here? Why did they put this in here? We're going to find out. We'll see why. Why in the Bible? It doesn't belong in the Bible. It belongs with the Greeks. This is that's what I expect among the Greeks, right? Socrates knocking everything. Right? I've seen everything during my lifetime futility. Righteous man perishes in his righteousness. Wicked man prolongs his life in his wickedness. One of the rabbis said, we do not understand why the wicked are comfortable and the poor suffer, the righteous suffer. Then he says, do not be excessively righteous. Do not be overly wise. Why should you ruin yourself? You're going to be an absolutely righteous person, you're going to run yourself ragged. On the other hand, don't be excessively wicked. Don't be a fool. Why should you die before your time? You're going to be a criminal gangster, you're going to get killed. No, don't. Don't go this way, don't go this way. Do what's good, but don't try to be really good. Don't try to be evil, but don't try to be really good. It's good that you grab one thing and not let go of the other. The one who fears God comes forth with both of them. Notice here, a response. Watch the middle path. This is a response. Okay, hold this, work to the middle. Who fears God comes forth with both of you. Have the best of both. Right? It's a response. It's not Koheleth, it's a response. Okay, then he goes on. As a line, this becomes a famous Jewish line. Right? There's no person who's perfectly righteous, who has done no sin. That may be a response to Koheleth. Things happen to you. Well, you're paying. Things happen to you. That's a recompense for your faults. But in the long run, the overall will be okay. It's kind of a response again. Okay. Now, remember that for Proverbs, the righteous and wise woman is the pinnacle. Matzah isha matzah tov. One who has found the woman has found what is good. What does he say? Matzeh ani marmi mavet et haisha. Marmi mavet imitzodim v'haramim. I discovered the woman more bitter than death, whose heart is snares and nets, whose hands are chains. You remember in My Fair Lady, with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of, you won't get stuck. What does he say? One who is pleasing to God will escape from her, but the sinner will be captured by her. The sinner will be captured by her, right? Oh, if God likes you, you'll get away from the woman. Then he said, adding, he added one thing on top of the other. I kept on looking. I found one man out of 1,000 who's decent. All the women, lo matzati. Not a single one. So the Talmud tells us of a kind of a joke line. The day after a guy gets married, after the wedding night, they ask him, Motzeh or Motzah? Are you quoting Koheleth, Motzeh ani isha mar mimav, the woman is as bitter as death? Or are you quoting Proverbs, Motzeh isha matzah tov, you found good? That is, okay. Now, somebody doesn't like this. So he comes back and says, go eat your bread in happiness and drink your wine with a cheerful heart. God has already approved your works. Let your clothes be white all the time. Let not oil be lacking on your head. Enjoy life with the woman you love. It's fleeting life. Yeah, it's a fleeting life, but find it with eat well, drink well, dress well. So I think this is a response to Koheleth. This is saying, look, I can't. That's against what's clearly part of our understanding of the Torah and so on. That we are here, we shall enjoy things properly and honorably, do it with honesty, do it with the mitzvot and so on. Because the Bible talks about you'll be blessed in your coming, you'll be blessed in your going, you'll be fruitful, and all of that. So we have this, he's looking now on life. Rejoice, young man. So he's not a young man anymore. Be happy in your youth. Go in your heart's way, follow the impulses of your heart, and do that. All this, God will hold you accountable, but Haser ka'as min libcha, don't get caught up in anger. Haver ra'a mibsarcha, don't take away any evil from yourself. Ki yaldut v'shachrut havel. Childhood and the prime of life are fleeting. Don't get caught up. Don't overeat yourself. And so it would seem to be sort of a kind of a middle path here. And then he goes, remember also you created in the days of your youth. Think to God before the evil days come. What's the evil days? Yeah. The Shema. Do not follow your eyes, do not follow your ears, right? He means enjoy while you can. Because now look what's going to happen. Remember your Creator in your youth. Don't get carried away because the evil days come, years draw nigh when you will say, I have no delight in them. As you get much older, before the sun and the light, the moon and the stars are darkened. How are they darkened? Our eyes are darkened. Clouds return after the rain. In the day the watchmen of the house tremble and mighty men stoop. Means the eyes, mighty men, the legs. The grinding ones stand still, the teeth. They're few. And those who look through the window grow dim, the eyes. Doors on the street are shut as the sound of the grinding mill is low. And one will arise at the sound of the bird, and all daughters of song will sing softly. Furthermore, men are afraid of high place terrors of the road. A little bit sort of almond tree, the grasshopper drags himself along. Some of these are metaphors. I'm not sure what the metaphor is, but you can see the point of aging in here. A man goes to his eternal home while mourners go about in the street. Bet olam. Right, the word here is Koheleth adam el bet olamo, the house of his world, the house of his eternity. Sivo shuk basofdim, and around there the mourners in the marketplace. So now, remembering before the silver cord is broken and the golden bowl is crushed. This is the cord of life. And the pitcher by the well is shattered, and the wheel of the cistern is crushed. This is very, very depressing. And then the dust returns to the earth as it was. The spirit returns to God who gave it. God takes back the breath. Does it mean going up? Does it mean going down? Heavily. So this is the whole end of Koheleth. That's it. Boom. That's it. This is not a very good book for me. Right? So why is it in here? Why is it in here? So we have a footnote. As I said, they could not ignore it. This is the way people are thinking. The sages or the scholars, the Sofrim, the scribes, put it in, and then they said, why am I going to put it in here? Well, now, a footnote. In addition to being a wise man, Prisha taught many people knowledge, and he pondered and searched out and arranged many proverbs. Well, it's sort of like King David, like King Solomon. Sought to find delightful words and write words of truth correctly. Not very much delightful words. Then, Divrei Chachamim Kadorbonot. Dorban is a cattle prod. What does a cattle prod do? You poke the cow or the bull, and the cow moves forward. So the word of the wise is there to force you to think things you don't want to think. He forces you to think unpleasant things, so you will think, what are you actually going to do? That's how they are explaining this. Masmerot netuim, they're like a stick with this, and there's another thing. You have nails stuck in a stick. You use it to prod the animals. Balei asufot netnu meroi echad. The scholars of the wise collected from one shepherd. All of this, even the doubt and the scoffing, is all collected from the one shepherd. One shepherd, Moses, God, whatever you want to call it. The rabbis give an interesting interpretation. The words of the wise are kadur banot, volleyball. The ball, the way girls play ball, you throw, you catch, you throw it back and forth, back and forth. The process of wisdom is you say something, you throw it back. Say something, throw it back. Hit it back. Hit it back, hit it back. In other words, that's the only way we achieve knowledge. So we deal with things we don't want to deal with in order to finally come to the end. So Yoter me'ema b'ni. Therefore, my son, Izaer asot sfarim harbe. There are lots of books. En kates. There's no end of books. V'lahag harbe yagiat basar. You know, if you listen to everything that everybody ever writes on Twitter or any of these TikTok or any of these feeds, yagiat basar. It's a waste of effort. It's exhausting. No, sof davar hakol nishma et Elohim yara. In the end of all things, everything is observed or heard. Fear God and His commandments. Shmor kizeh kol hadam. This is the key of the human being. The key of the human being is don't worry about the reward, the punishment. No. The essence of the human being is listening to God and following God. That's the essence of the human being. Everything else is a waste. We're getting you in that direction. That's why I'm doing all this troubling stuff for you. God will bring to judgment all that has been hidden, whether good or bad, and then repeat the line, Sof davar kol nishma. Right, translated, God will bring every act to judgment which is hidden, whether good or evil. Fear God, keep His commands. This applies to every person. Or they translate applies to every person. No, this is the kol ha'adam. This is the essence of being a human. Now that's the Jewish core at the end. All right. So that's how he comes in to be in the book of the Bible. Oh, you know, don't strive too much. But he's going in all directions. Yeah. Yeah, except he undermines it because he says even if you do what you want to do, it's a waste because nobody's going to remember it in the end. So what are you doing anything for? And I hate life. He says. He's condemning himself. Think about it. He's condemning himself. I did it. I did it my way. And it's so good. Right? Now, this is very unusual because you have other books of that. You have Job. Job confronts the question of good and evil to the human being. Job has an answer. We may not like the answer, but the answer is in the presence of God. That this vision of God overwhelms everything else, and it's the mystic vision. When I am in union with God, everything else shrinks in comparison, and I find myself. There's an answer, and it's very important. Job is not a Jewish book, either. Job is Eretz Utz, a stranger, a foreigner. Very interesting. This posed in an international format. This is right. So what are we getting at? What are we getting? No, he's our guy. I mean, it's international. He's an international figure. Intentionally, he's not an Israelite intentionally. So, what am I getting at? What the precedent for us here is this thinking, back and forth, debating. We have to focus, find our purpose, find our justification. Even if things lead us in a path we don't like, follow through. We are going to eventually. The belief is, eventually we will come to the light. And the light is in the Torah, light is in our faith. But I throw this at you to challenge you. And I think that's ultimately why it was finally put in. But for the Christian interpreters, the reason Koheleth is there is that from their perspective, when at the end of the Hebrew end of the Bible, the only solution you have is death. And that's why you need the New Testament, because then the life is in Jesus. That's how they translate it. That's how they interpret it in Christian interpretation. Yeah. But for them also, this debate is very important. Okay, so that is our thought for the day. It's Job Koheleth makes it sound final. The rabbis don't buy it. The rabbis don't buy it. The Bible itself is relatively silent on it. The major position of the rabbis is that death is not final. That there is something. Right. So you go back to Proverbs. And Proverbs says, do the right, follow the path, learn, follow wisdom, you will do the right and it will be right. That's the counterbalance. But it's also the Shema. As a people, you follow the commandments, then you will have prosperity. And they want prosperity in this world. The Jewish idea of prosperity is very much rooted in this world. It's not so abstract. It's not so abstract. So even the idea, what the rabbis propose is Tiat HaMetim, which is the world comes back, just without any imperfections. We're all back without the imperfections. That's the rabbinic perspective. And it's not some vague in the heavens. It's not some vague. That's Greek. The rabbis want this world. They really do want this life. They just want to have it forever. That's how they see it. Okay, so with that thought, next week we're going to Judaism 101. So everybody Shabbat Shalom and everything good. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.